Hello everyone and welcome to week 10 of the GBA D-League. Your New York Empoleon took a tough luck loss last week against some good prep and some hacktiness, but we are back this week taking on Danza and the Los Angeles Nidokings. He has been so consistent all season. His team is absolutely horrifying. If you have not already watched the team builder to learn what sets I'm bringing to try to match up against one of the best battlers in the league, I encourage you to go do that. Link is always in the description below. And if you do want to know what I'm predicting him to bring, that is right here on the screen for you. It is Steelix, Toxapex, Weavile, Tornadus, Therian Form, Zeraora, and Zeraora, and Mega Gallade on my side to counter that. Like I said, go watch the team builder, but we are going to be bringing Bisharp, Tornadus Incarnate Form, Haxorus, Milotic, Victini, and Gardevoir. Now, we have some plans up our sleeve, so I encourage you guys to check out Danza's side, see how he reacts to those, check out the team builder to see what's going on in those sets. But I will be right back with you guys with the battle against Danza once we get online and get connected. So I hope you guys enjoy this battle. I'm super hyped. This battle may determine the 2 seed. Let's see what happens here. Almost said let's see who finds out, but we're going to find out together. Before we get started, welcome back everyone. I will just say that I don't remember if I said go check out Danza's link in the description below. Danza is part of the token minorities, and just a small shout out to some of the other guys there at that community. They are all, at least the founding members, are all class of 2016 graduates from the same college that I went to, Washington University in St. Louis. So if I'd known them then, who knows where I would be right now. I might be a member of the token minorities. It was funny, I got introduced through a mutual friend at WashU, or actually after WashU. So as an alumni, I got told about the token minorities group at the time, who was all into competitive Pokemon and stuff, and I've started watching their channel. Super entertaining content. They have tons of stuff there for you guys of all sorts and sizes and shapes. Because they have so many people, they're able to pull in TCG and competitive Pokemon at all different levels and with different people. Danza is not one of the founding members, I don't believe. He was not one of the ones who went to WashU, but there were a number of people who did go to WashU, which I think is super fun. So shout-outs to my alma mater, shout-outs to the token minorities, and I encourage you guys to check them out if you have any interest in doing so. Now, before we get into the battle, and just also because I'm stalling and I'm good at this, I do want to talk a little bit about what happened last time in the last week's battle, just because I think I've watched it in post a couple times, and I just want to talk about it a little bit before I get into this one and let any emotions run wild. I was playing too quickly. I recognize that. I was playing as if my head wasn't in it, and honestly, I don't remember most of that battle. My head was not in it at all. And so I think I'm in a much better mental state now. I'm more that doesn't bode well. I'm more well rested. I think it's going to be a super fun fight against a very good opponent. I'm happy because of the fact that I did have that 6-game winning streak. I don't have to stress as much about making playoffs. Winning this guarantees me a spot in the playoffs. Losing this, I'm not guaranteed a spot yet. I still have to clinch on my own. So I definitely want to win this, get my spot, and potentially still have a chance at being the 2 seed, getting that bye. All things that I definitely want to have moving forward. So anyway, I don't know how long it's going to take Danza to select, so I'm going to let you guys go and bring you back here again once we're ready to get this battle started. The double cut. Alright everyone, welcome back. So we are going to get ready, and he's got the Drampa, Zeraora, Silvally, Mesprit. Okay. So let's see, what does he not have? He doesn't have the Mega Gallade. He's got Mesprit, so we'll bring that in right there. He doesn't have the Steelix. Instead, he has the Drampa, and he has the Silvally. We don't know what type yet, not the Toxapex. So we have to scout out what type that Silvally is. Let me mark this in my notes as well as putting it on the screen. So we don't see the Marowak. I was thinking he might bring the Marowak, but we don't see that. We don't see Amoonguss, which is fine. So his defensive core, not super present. So he's going in a very offensive team right now. Both Drampa and Torrentee could have the Z move on them. I'm thinking that I do want my Stealth Rocks up in this matchup. They really wear down that Torrentee. Weavile doesn't appreciate them. Possible leads for him, Silvally is one of them. Torrentee's another. He could have Superpower on that. Weavile's another. None of those like seeing Victini. Mesprit's definitely a lead. How much does a V create? I have 27 seconds left. I'm going to put Victini in first and type everything just in case we get to that point, but I'm going to take the time and not click submit quite yet and take a look at Victini against Mesprit as a possible lead. V create doesn't kill, so I don't love that if he does lead with the Mesprit, but if he doesn't, I think that that's the best play. And since my Bisharp is a pretty predictable lead, I don't necessarily see the Mesprit being the first thing that comes out. So we are going to get started. Best of luck to my opponent, Danza, and I am excited to bring you guys more GBA content. I can't believe we're already in week 10 right now, let's be honest. So we are going to lead with Victini. I'm hoping that in some regard he's going to see this as a potential bluff Scarf Victini as well. There's the Mesprit. Mesprit does not outspeed me. Shouldn't be able to kill me with anything. Even a Shadow Ball doesn't do that much damage. You know, it's not doing 50%. V-Create's doing a lot. U-Turn's doing a lot as well, but I don't have U-Turn on this Victini. I opted to go with Flame Charge V-Create. Now, he could try to set up rocks here, which I could definitely see as a very, very solid and feasible play. I could go straight into my Bisharp here, which can eat any hit from this thing, barring like a Focus Blast. I'm going to stay in. I'm going to click... Do I want to V-Create right now? Because if I V-Create, then he Shadow Balls second. I don't think I want to V-Create yet. I think I could just go into my Bisharp. But letting Bisharp go down this early to this Mesprit doing something shenanigans to it on a great prediction. I'm predicting he's going to just probably want to set up his rocks here. He could be Sash. That's what I'm worried about is a Sash. I could go out into my Gardevoir as well, which can then click Moonblast on this thing. Or I could just go into my Lodic, get my Flame Orb off, go from there. I'm going to stay in. I'm going to click V-Create. I think that is going to be my best play. It continues to bluff the chance that I'm Scarfed here, which I do want him not to know for sure. And we're going to see how much bulk this thing has. So it's reasonably bulky. So that's fine. Let's see what he's going to go for. Is he going to be Stealth Rock? It's just going to be Stealth Rock. So that's all right. It's as we expected. Let's see if he's got leftovers. No leftovers. So probably Focus Sash anyway. And this allows us the... Now I could switch, or I could just stay in and V-Create again, taking a big hit with my Victini, which I definitely don't think is necessarily my best play. I think going out into my Bisharp and threatening a knockoff on any Pokemon on his team will be a good play, just because it'll give me some momentum there. Victini can obviously come in later. I do have the Defog on Tornadus if I want to bring that in later. I don't want to bring my Bisharp just because I also want it to get its rocks up later as well. And so I could stay in and go for another V-Create, take a lot of damage, potentially. But if he switches out, that just gives me a ton of momentum here. It would reveal that I'm not Scarfed, because he would outspeed me. But I still think it might be my best play to just V-Create again. Victini puts in a decent amount of work, as long as it's healthy enough to take an Ice Shard from a Weavile with a Flame Charge. So I think that is going to be my best play, is just clicking V-Create again, and seeing what he wants to do here. He could switch out his Mesprit to save Stealth Rock, because he knows that I have the Torn with Prankster Defog, so that is definitely something he could choose to do. And if he does that, then I just get a big V-Create on whatever switches in. He's going to U-turn, so he's going to know that I'm not Scarf, which is actually okay, because he's doing very little damage, and he's going to have something take a V-Create. And since V-Create only lowers my defenses, not my offenses, that's fine. Drampa would resist this, but he doesn't know what item I have. So there's the Drampa, and V-Create's doing almost 50%, which is actually kind of perfect. That is a reasonably bulky Drampa, so this is going to do just almost 50%. Okay, so we are going to have to switch out at this point, and we don't activate Berserk, which is great. So Victini is going to be able to switch out at this point. Drampa is here now. I think my Lodic is going to be my best switch in to the Drampa. Gardevoir is not a bad switch in either. Getting Berserk off from its hit right away because I think I can take any one hit from a Drampa. You can take any one hit from a Drampa, barring, like, well, that's according to this, Life Orb Normalium Z. So that's a lot. Barring a Normalium Z Hyper Voice, Gardevoir should be able to take any one hit from this thing, get its Berserk up, be Scarfed, go for a +1 Moonblast as a Scarf Gardevoir, and I think that puts me in good position for the future of this game. So that's what I'm going to do, save my Victini for later, which definitely still has a lot of value to me. It's relatively healthy. Zen Headbutt's going to do a lot of damage to this Drampa. We did how much with that V-Create, just so I can try to get a gauge of how bulky this thing is. So we're looking at about 40, what? He's at like 66%? So we're looking at about 44% damage, which is, not 44, 34% damage. Wait, no, that's 56%, so yeah, it is 44%. And, so yeah, he's reasonably bulky, but not excessively so. So we're gonna go into Gardevoir here. We're gonna activate, or not activate Berserk unless he hits me, but Trace Berserk, Trace Sap Sipper, so he's not even Berserk, and he's gonna hard switch into the Mesprit again. Okay, so he doubles out his Drampa into Mesprit. I can Moonblast here, which, from where he's at, has a good chance to kill. He's at like 40. Assuming he's at 40%. We're looking at like a really solid chance to kill here. And I am Scarfed, he's not. We know that for sure. So I'm going to click Moonblast and get big damage off on something. Now, we didn't get a lot of scout about the Drampa, but we do see that it is Sap Sipper, which is not going to be useful for him as I did not bring my Mega Venusaur, but it might mean that he's Physical Drampa. I don't know why you would run Physical Drampa, but you could. You could. That base 60 attack stat. But here's the Mesprit, and we are getting damage off without taking that much damage, which is really, really good. Knowing Mesprit is potentially physical as well. Now, if he survives this and knockoffs, that would actually be easily worst case scenario for me. Easily worst case scenario for me. But with how much that Victini attack did, it's really hard to gauge exactly how specially defensive this Mesprit is. We're going to go for a Moonblast. This has a very reasonable chance to take this out. And it does. It does take out the Mesprit here. So Mesprit's going to go down. His Stealth Rocker's down. So Gardevoir kills Mesprit with Moonblast. And his Drampa is in a place where Gardevoir can easily revenge it later. Now, nothing outspeeds me with the Scarf, barring a choice Scarf of its own. And so he's going to go out into Convection, which is the Tornadus, which can take a Moonblast reasonably well. So Moonblast is only going to do about 60%, and I don't want to just click that right now. I can go out into my Lodic, but if he does knock off, then I do lose my Flame Orb. I can go into Bisharp here. If he's got the Superpower, I'm in trouble, but otherwise I'm in a really, really good position. Now, he could just go for a Z Hurricane to try to take out my Gardevoir or hit my Milotic super hard. Those are both options. Superpower is obviously a problem for Bisharp, but if he does have the Superpower, he goes down in an attack stage and a defense stage, and actually gives me a free switch into my Victini, which then should be able to click Flame Charge, followed by a V-Create on something. Because his answers to V-Create are going down. That was really good English. I definitely don't want to take more Stealth Rocks with my Victini either. We are going to save our Gardevoir here. Going to go into the Bisharp. If he does attack me with anything but superpower, then I will survive it. He goes for the Sludge Wave. That's not going to hit me at all. He can definitely be teching Focus Blast or superpower. I think Sucker Punch is my best play. Just in case, it gets the damage off to the point where then I can do the damage with something else to finish it up. Since Bisharp isn't going to kill this thing. My Stealth Rocks aren't as important as I think I prepped for them to be, just because he doesn't have as much of the Regenerator core as I was worried about. Sucker Punch is going to do about 50%, and then Gardevoir can finish this thing off with a Moonblast at that point if I need it to. So I am going to click Sucker Punch here. We're going to see, he is going to try to attack me, so he probably does have the superpower, and he does. So we are going to lose our Bisharp here, which is unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Like I said, he is going to drop his attack and his defense and take 50% here. So Tornadus T kills Bisharp with superpower. So we're looking at Sludge Wave, superpower, don't know the item yet. He's just at 50%. Now Gardevoir can come in and threaten anything with a Moonblast. And nothing takes 2 Moonblasts from this range, so hard switching this out, yes, it would allow it to switch back in and take another Moonblast. But unless he's a very bulky Zorora, he's not taking 2 Moonblasts. The other thing I could do is go into my Haxorus, set up a Dragon Dance. But I don't really like that play because he is partially special. So we are going to go out into my Gardevoir. I think Moonblast is the play with the Weavile still alive. We are going to Trace Regenerator, which means we will be able to switch out later. I expect him to switch out here, but there's really nothing I'm worried about clicking Moonblast on, and that's just the play right now. And if he does stay in, this Moonblast should kill this thing. He's probably got bulk in, or not bulk, but offenses on both physical and special. So I would assume he doesn't have as much bulk investment in this thing. And even if he has like a little bit of bulk, because he's at 50%, if he has no bulk at all, this does 55 to 66%. So even with a little bit of bulk, we do still do 50% to a Tornadus. Now I expect him to switch it out because he does have the Regenerator, but the question is, what does he bring in to sack, or to take this Moonblast? Now Silvally is certainly a potential switch, and depending on the spread, can potentially survive 2 Moonblast. But if he goes into the Silvally, I do get information as to what set it's running. I have Regenerator on my Gardevoir now, which means that I can switch it out and get back to full and not take any more Stealth Rock damage. So we're going to click Moonblast. Let's see how much this does to the Torn. It doesn't take it out. Okay, so he has a lot of bulk in this thing. Sludge Wave is going to come out here, and that is not going to take Gardevoir out, which is huge, 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 because that means I can click Moonblast again. So he does have a lot of bulk, which means he doesn't have the offense to take out the Gardevoir with the Sludge Wave. Gardevoir also is running a teensy tiny bit of bulk right now, but every bit of that is mattering now as we go for this Moonblast. We are going to be able to take out the Tornadus, or he's going to switch it out, which is actually okay. I can then switch out my Gardevoir, barring a Pursuit Weavile, which if he has, you know, if he brings in his Weavile, and he goes for the Pursuit, then I get a free switch in, and if he goes for the Ice Shard, then I get my Gardevoir out, and it's back to some health to survive some more Stealth Rock switches. So I definitely see him letting his Torn go down, but if he does decide to switch it out, he can't switch in Weavile hard here, and unless he's running like Quick Attack Zorora, then nothing's going to want to take 2 Moonblast from this Gardevoir. Now, taking out Tornadus would be great. Taking out anything would be great right now. With Milotic so healthy in the back, and Haxorus as well, if he's not running Outrage Zeraora. I really don't know how to say that name, but I can get a D-Dance up, potentially, and go from there if I am able to do so. I don't have much to set up on at this point with my Haxorus. Silvally may be the only thing, and that sort of depends on his set. And even then, I don't really like that play. So he is going to let his Torn go down here, and we'll see if he goes into the Weavile. If he doesn't go to the Weavile, I'm going to assume he doesn't have the I'm going to assume he doesn't have the, oh my god, what's the word? Pursuit? Just because, I mean, he might have the priority, and he wants to go into the Weavile to get the priority off. And if he has Pursuit, I mean, Gardevoir is going to go down, you know, either to Ice Shard or Pursuit, and it's just a coin toss at that point about whether I choose to stay in with my Gardevoir or switch it out. Because my Lodic can come in on a Weavile 100 times out of 100. And I would actually prefer at that point that he go for the Pursuit, just because then I get... No, if he goes for the Ice Shard, because then I get my Flame Orb up. If he goes for the Pursuit, then I think the play would be out into Victini, potentially. Kelvin is... It is the Weavile. So now it's the mind games question. Does he have Pursuit? Does he click Pursuit? Or does he just try to click Ice Shard and that's his priority to take out my Scarf Gardevoir? Now, if he's real, he just goes for a knockoff potentially as well. On the Milotic switch in. I think there's a lower chance that he has Pursuit than Ice Shard. I think there's a lower chance he clicks Pursuit than Ice Shard because it's a higher risk. If I choose to stay in and kill the Weavile, he's in a really bad spot. So I'm gonna see if he has the Pursuit here. And with him taking as long as he's taking, I have to assume that he probably does have the Pursuit, and he's really debating this play right now. Because if I do stay in with my Gardevoir and click Moonblast and he clicks Pursuit, he's in a lot of trouble because his Weavile just goes down with for nothing. But if I stay in and he goes for Ice Shard, then my Gardevoir still did something. It still killed Mesprit and Torn T, so it's, you know, it's already traded 2 for 1, even if it goes down. And so we get out, no Pursuit. We go out into my Lodic here. Do you knock off straight up? Is this just a straight knockoff, or do you just go for the Ice Shard safely? Ice Shard. Perfect. So then we get our Flame Orb up. We don't care about the knockoff anymore. And now I can go for a Scald, potentially. Try to get a burn on something. Zorora would be great on that very predictable switch. Now, Gardevoir is healthy enough again because of the Regenerator to switch into Stealth Rocks, which is wonderful. This thing, really not scary to my Lodic at all. So I'm going to click Scald. If I can get a burn on Weavile or Zorora or Silvally, Isokoric comes in. That is Drampa. He's not Berserk. We know that. So we are going to click Scald here. Now getting a little damage off on this thing. And get the burn. So he's down to a little under 50%. Now he could have the Z move on this thing. We didn't see it on the Torn. And if he has like Dragonium Z, which would be his strongest, we're looking at minning out at 147 damage. Now I'm going to outspeed him, and a Z move doesn't OHKO me. Which means that I can recover and scout if he's going to go for the Z move. And then be able to survive. I'm not seeing how much Torn is going to do for me this match anymore, because Weavile and Zeraora both outspeed it. So I'm thinking that it's probably just going to be fodder for the Defog later on in the match before my Victini comes back in. But I don't want to just sack it. So I could click Ice Beam here, which actually has a chance to kill a not superly defensive invested Drampa. And it was at about 50. It's not that defensively invested. Because it was at about 56, and now it's at about 30, 40 something. I'm going to click Ice Beam. I should outspeed this thing. And this has a very good chance to just kill the Drampa, which it just does, straight up. And so my Lodic kills Drampa with Ice Beam. Take a little bit of burn damage. So no Z move for him. He's got Silvally, Zorora, and Weavile. Zorora is probably his play here. It's pretty safe against what I've got left. Does a ton of damage. And there it is. So yeah, that's the very, very easy play here. And it's really sort of dependent on what his set is. I don't know if he'd be running the Outrage for my team. That'd be a pretty risky play in my opinion. Now I could sack my Lodic, potentially. Depending on what his investment is, this maxes out at 122 and I have 137, which is a little bit more than 50%. But I don't want to take more Stealth Rocks. Now, if he doesn't have the Outrage, going out into Haxorus means that it's safe to set up a Dragon Dance on this thing. Because close combat's not going to kill a Haxorus from full. And I see close combat more for the Bisharp than Outrage for the Haxorus at this point. So I could just let my Lodic go down. My Lodic handles the Weavile so well, though. Haxorus doesn't really do anything unless it gets up a Dragon Dance. I'm going to click Scald. Here. He goes for the Iron Tail, so he predicts a switch. I'm not sure into what. Gardevoir, probably, for the Volt Absorb. Get the burn? No burn. Plasma Fists is a real play now. It does kill my Lodic from this range. It does kill from this range if he's max attack adamant. The Iron Tail damage that we just saw. Oh, that's too many spaces in the word. We were at 137, and now we're at 105 after burn as well. So probably max attack adamant is what we're looking at. Now I could go into Haxorus pretty much either way. Iron Tail or Plasma Fists, it can take those. As like a middle ground play. And then click Earthquake. Which I kind of like. Because my Lodic handles the Weavile so well that letting it die here isn't ideal. So I am going to go into Haxorus. Because he's taking the Iron Tail, I just don't see him taking the Outrage as well. So we are Mold Breaker. He goes for the Plasma Fist at this point. Okay. I've never seen this animation in game. That's dope. That's a really cool animation. That did a lot. Did max attack adamant damage. 135 down to 85 is 50. Which is right in the middle range of adamant. Close combat maxes out at 88. So if I'm at 85, there's a 25% chance that he kills with a close combat. He could have quick attack, so I kind of just want to go for a like Z Outrage and just hit something hard. He could have Silvally Fairy, which is why I want to go for an Earthquake here. He might. The reason I wouldn't want to do that necessarily is because he might be Shuka Berry. So I think I'm just going to click Z Outrage. If he has Silvally Fairy, he has Silvally Fairy. And I'm not gonna stress about it. That's Silvally. It looks like Fairy. Yeah, I'm just not going to stress too much about that Silvally Fairy coming in here. But I do want to verify that it is, so we'll see this animation. And yeah, okay, it is Silvally Fairy. So he's got the Fairy plate. Now that's fine. I don't even remember what they're called. Fairy Memory. Fairy Memory. That's fine. I think my play is to stay in and click Earthquake. That's going to do the most to Silvally. And he can probably kill me with his memory thing. He can't be Scarfed or anything, so we know he outspeed. Actually, we don't, because I'm not max speed, but that's fine. I'm not going to... Again, Haxorus did sort of what it needed to do. An Earthquake there would have been nice, but... Or a Dragon Dance probably would have been preferred, but that's okay. I think Gardevoir still can handle this endgame very, very well. If I can get a little bit of damage off on this Silvally, then Gardevoir should put in a lot of work. So, we're still in the mode of damage Silvally. Now I can't hard switch Torn in because I need to defog before the Victini comes back. So we are going to Earthquake. We do outspeed, so he's not max speed. Jolly, which is good information to have. That does a little bit, so he's extraordinarily defensive. He goes for the Thunder Wave here. I would actually rather my Haxorus be paralyzed than anything else on my team. He's extraordinarily defensive, which is really good information for me to have. Where's my Haxorus against Silvally? So Earthquake, yeah, he's like very, very bulky. With that knowledge, he could have the Thunderbolt. That wouldn't surprise me at all to find out that he has the Thunderbolt. But with the knowledge that he's not going to have Stab from the Thunderbolt, and he's extraordinarily bulky, he's probably not going to do that much damage to my Lodic. So I could switch that in here. But I don't think I need Haxorus for anything else at this point. There's really no more value that it serves me. So multi-attack's going to come out. And that is going to kill, so that's fine. So Silvally kills Haxorus with multi-attack. So at this point, I can get rid of the rocks. I can just sack off my Tornadus, which is the plan anyway, at any point, and get rid of the rocks, which I think I'm going to do, just to have done. The other option is actually attacking this thing with the Tornadus, since I do outspeed it. He's extraordinarily bulky, like I said. Not getting rid of the rocks, though, puts my Victini lower than I want it. But clicking Air Slash here... If he goes on to Zorora, though, that doesn't really get... Well, I mean, I still get to defog next turn because I can... It's Prankster. I could also just click Psychic for guaranteed damage on this. But I think Air Slash is just... I'm just going to click Air Slash. With his support moveset, I'm going to assume he's got defog on there. Thunder Wave. So, Thunder Wave, multi-attack, defog, Parting Shot potentially. And so, not the Thunderbolt. Now, if he Thunder Waves my Tornadus, it's annoying. There's a 25% chance I just don't get rid of the rocks then. But barring that, I do have a chance to flinch this thing. I have a chance to do damage to whatever comes in, which damage is great. So we go for the Air Slash. We land the Air Slash here. This does a lot to this thing. And he's got the U-turn. Okay. So we're getting some scouting on his set. So we got the U-turn. Probably thinking I would defog there. I can defog on whatever comes in here. Weavile with an Ice Shard actually takes that option away from me, which is a little annoying. Milotic can probably switch into the Weavile and recover, though. I can take 2 knockoffs, because one of them will be without an item. None but burned. So I should be able to take 2 knockoffs from a Weavile. If he goes down to the Zeraora, then I just defog away the rocks. And at this point, Ice Shard from a Weavile does 30% to a Gardevoir if he's max attack Jolly. We didn't see Life Orb. He could be sashed. Impedance is Zeraora. So I get to either go Gardevoir here, or defog. Going Gardevoir would put it outside of the range of Ice Shard, but I risk him going for an Iron Tail and winning the game. Moonblast does not quite kill from there, so I do have to watch out for that, but I'm going to click defog, because Iron Tail, Plasma Fists, both of those are fine for Victini. And so we're going to get rid of these rocks here, and he's probably just going to Plasma Fist and take me out. There it is. So I could have gone into the Gardevoir there, which would have been really, really cool, but Zeraora kills Tornadus I with Plasma Fists. Now, again, Gardevoir does not kill from here, so I have to watch out for that. Victini, I think, is the play. I think Victini's the play. I don't believe that Zeraora kills Victini with anything. It doesn't. And where he's at, Flame Charge plus Zen Headbutt should be able to take out the Zeraora, which makes me outspeed the Weavile. For the Zen Headbutt on that. And so I think Victini's the play. Again, Milotic can handle the Weavile, which is great. And with where his Silvally is, Gardevoir handles that. So I could just go straight for a V-Create. Since whatever he goes into, I just switch into the appropriate counter after that. Silvally, I just go into my Gardevoir on the safe switch. Weavile, I just go into my Milotic. Or I go for the Flame Charge. He's not Scarfed, we know that. The risk is if he's like a berry, but then I still V-Create the next turn. Like I'm still fine. So yeah, I'm just gonna Flame Charge. He's gonna hard switch into Silvally. So he wants to sack this thing off, but actually what that allows me to do is Flame Charge again on the Silvally. He can't Thunder Wave me because I outspeed him. Then I just click V-Create, V-Create, and I still outspeed everything. And unless he's unless he's Focus Sashed Weavile, Victini should be able to pick up the V-Create kill, or the Flame Charge kill here, and then V-Create twice for game. Now, at -1 defense, knockoff from a Weavile has a chance to kill, but it actually isn't a guaranteed kill. And so, like, because of the Culber Berry, even if he's Focus Sash, we can survive. I can Quick Attack, which keeps me faster than his, okay, so we do take out the Silvally. So Victini kills Silvally with Flame Charge. And if he goes Weavile, I V-Create. Either way, I V-Create. The only way Weavile manages to win this is if he goes... If he gets the highest max roll possible on his knockoff. And he's max attack. If he's adamant, then there's a potential chance that he kills. Like 50%. But if he's Jolly, then he has a 6.3% chance. It's a max roll. And only if he's sashed. Which, based on how long it's taking, I don't think he's sashed. The other option being Flame Charge again, or Quick Attack, so I don't lower my defense, guarantee to take a knockoff from an Adamant Weavile. He could be banded, and if he's banded Adamant, that would be scary. That only has a 50% chance to kill, though. Zeraora comes in here. We click V-Create. So what he's going to do is he's going to try to get me to -2 defense if he's Focus Sash. But even then, my Lodic should be able to handle the Weavile where it's at. It should be able to switch in, recover, and then Scald as necessary until the Weavile dies. So we are going to V-Create here. We are still going to be at +1 speed, which means we still outspeed a Weavile. So down goes the Zeraora. So Victini kills Zeraora with V-Create. Now Weavile could come in. If he's Scarfed, he outspeeds. But if he's Scarfed again, if he's Scarfed Jolly, then he doesn't necessarily kill. Scarfed Adamant also doesn't necessarily kill. So if he's Scarfed, he outspeeds. Sure. We're gonna V-Create. Let's see. Is he Choice Scarf? And if he's Choice Scarf, does he lock himself into knockoff? Because then we know he's Scarfed, we know he's locked in knockoff, and I can go into my Milotic for free. And if he's not Scarfed and he's not Focus Sashed, then this kills. If he's Focus Sashed, then he kills me with a knockoff on the following turn. But we know that he's Focus Sash, and I can go into Milotic and kill it. And if he's... I mean, either way, if he does manage to kill my Victini, my Milotic should finish the game. But he needs to be either Scarfed or Focus Sash in order to survive this. Because Akaberry, I'm pretty sure, is not going to do it. So we're going to V-Create. He's not Scarfed. V-Create hits the Weavile. Weavile goes down. We don't know what item it was. Victini picks up the 3 kills at the end of the game. Kills Weavile with V-Create. And great game to Danza. I encourage you guys to go check out his side of the battle. We have figured out our winning ways. It is do not play the day after you play Ultimate for 2 days because you're kind of sleepy, Goldoa Dragon. But thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys back here with the final week of the regular season against CJ and the Baltimore Orioles, who may still be fighting for a playoff spot. But with this win against Danza, we have not only locked up our playoff spot, we have kept ourselves alive in the race for the 2 seed and the bye into the playoffs. We have hopefully given ourselves a pretty good chance of avoiding the top 4, people, the Leo, Danza, Zazo area of people in the first round of the playoffs. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun with this battle. I encourage you all to go watch the Token Minorities. All of them, all that channel is super fun, super cool. So thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.